Chapter 2, talking about value and the principle of diminishing utility. Remember, utility is just another word for satisfaction or happiness. And the guy we associate with diminishing utility is William Jevons. Here's the definition. He said this: in diminishing utility, people tend to receive less and less additional satisfaction from any good or service as they attain more of it during a specific time. So, let me make this pretty easy to understand. If you are to get a good and you are to get it regularly, you won't be as satisfied with that as you were if you got it a little rarely. So think of it like this. If we had a Chick-fil-A in Grand Blanc, everybody really likes Chick-fil-A, but you would not be craving it and wanting it as badly as you do now, because now you don't get it as often. So it is really super nice to get it. But imagine if we got one in town. Well, at that point in time, it's going to change a lot of things, and it's going to make it where people, they are satisfied with it, but you receive less additional satisfaction if you get more of it during a specific time. Or imagine this. Imagine you wanted to go see your favorite band in concert, and as you were able to go see your favorite band in concert, you were able to see them once a summer. You'd be like, oh man, that'd be awesome. But imagine if you saw them like 8, 9, 10, 15 times. You might be like, well, I still think it'd be cool. Yeah, but it wouldn't be as thrilling of an experience as it was the first time and only seeing them once. Almost in this case with diminishing utility, think to yourself, less is more. Because the more you get of something at a product at once, you tend to get sick of it. It's like if you have tacos every single day, time after time after time, it's like, man, I just don't really want tacos for a while. There's all sorts of things that this could apply to. But again, people tend to receive less and less additional satisfaction from any good or service. We talked about what those were last chapter, as you obtain more of it during a specific time period. Now, that takes us to something a little bit complicated called the marginal utility schedule. So if you have your Econ books, you need to go to page 15. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out this window. I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like here. And as we go to this chart here, what you would do is you'd set it up with the number, and then you'd have your satisfaction after minus your satisfaction before equals your marginal utility. This is how you would set this chart up. The number of items, in this case I just have donuts. It doesn't have to be donuts. It could be slices of bacon. It could be hot dogs. It could be slices of pizza. It could be tacos. It could be concerts. Could be anything. But your satisfaction after minus your satisfaction before equals your marginal utility. And so, anyway, 6 minus 0. These are arbitrary numbers, meaning they don't really mean much. But let's just rank this out of 10. And here's the numbers that you're going to want to pay attention to, okay, right here. So, after I had my first donut, it was a pretty good donut. I was pretty happy. What was my satisfaction before this donut? Well, it's got to be 0 because, well, I didn't have a donut. And so 6 minus 0 equals 6. My marginal utility after one donut is 6. Now, I eat a second donut because, well, I'm overweight and I love donuts. My satisfaction after that second one is a 7. What was my satisfaction before? Well, it was right here. What did I have before? That was a 6 now. 7 minus 6 equals 1. And so now my margin utility, notice what it's done. It's dropped tremendously. I have one more donut. Its satisfaction afterwards is 8. Minus satisfaction before is 7. 8 minus 7 is 1. So again, my margin utility stays pretty much the same here. And then my satisfaction after, I have another one, my fourth donut. Again, I should probably have stopped a long time ago. But 8 minus, what was it beforehand? 8, because this number here, 6, 7, 8, mirrors this number here, 6, 7, 8. So 8 minus 8 is 0, so my margin utility goes to 0. And imagine if we go here, and I have another one, and it goes satisfaction after, and this goes to an 8, so what would this be? That would mean that this one is minus 1. And so if this one's minus 1, then my margin utility is going to drop even more, and then I get into one more donut, and we go here, and what was my margin or my utilities there? My satisfaction before is 7. That leads to -1. What are you noticing about this? Your marginal utility goes down the more and more you have of an item at one point in time. I'm going to leave this up here. You might want to make sure you kind of understand how to do this chart. I don't know that we're going to, depending on when we get back to school, I don't know if I'm going to actually test you over this chart, but you definitely need to know the concept. So let's go back over to this and explain a little bit more on this. As we said, people tend to receive less and less additional satisfaction from any good or service as they obtain more of it during a specific time. So if you have hot dogs and you love hot dogs, you know, that first hot dog's great, second hot dog, third, but after the fourth, you kind of just get sick of it. And again, it has to be during a specific time. We're not talking about once every 4 months. That wouldn't be enough to change your marginal utility. It has to be in a short time, specified time, in a shorter setting. And that was the idea that William Jevons came up with. And again, as I said beforehand, I think your book uses candy bars. I think there's a funny illustration in your book with a guy with baked beans on an island and how he's pretty pumped, and then he's just completely sick of it. You know, you can only have so much of something, and then eventually it just gets old after a while, and you just don't love it as much as you did. So let's talk about prices. As far as prices go, each person places a value of an item being purchased with a price tag. So everybody, when you're looking at something, you place the value of an item being purchased with a price tag. Now, that price tag could be more valuable to you than it could be other people. We did talk about that, how some things have intrinsic and some things have subjective value. But each person places a value of an item being purchased. You know, if we're talking about hoodies, you know, I might be willing to spend $45 on a hoodie, and some of you guys are saying, you're a crazy, raging psychopath. I would never pay more than $20 for a hoodie. Well, to each their own, but everybody places the value of an item with a price tag. And when you think about that, if the person holds a value for an item that is greater than or equal to its price, then a sale will be made. If not, then no sale will be made. Now, we'll slow down and kind of answer this, and hopefully make this have a little more, make a little more sense to you. If the person holds a value for an item that is greater than or equal to its price, then a sale will be made. So, for example, if I'm willing to spend $45 for a hoodie, and I get to the store, and the hoodie is only $30, am I going to buy that hoodie? Well, the answer is yes, because I was willing to pay $45. It's $30, it just makes it even better for me. But if I was willing to spend $45 on a hoodie and the hoodie is $65, then in theory I would not make the sale. Okay, so as long as the value, as I hold the value of the item greater than or equal to its price, then a sale will be made. If not, no sale. Now I'm going to show you this one. For example, this is how this would look for the hoodies. If David valued hoodies at $35, Brew at $30, Kylie Van at $30, Grant at $25, Kylie Ham at $40, Grace at $34, and Wyatt at $20. So the question becomes, let's say that a hoodie is, let's say the hoodie is $32. Sorry, $32 is what the cost of the hoodie is. So who's going to buy this hoodie? Answer that question. Who's going to buy the hoodie? Again, the prices represented are what these people would be willing to pay for a hoodie. David 35, Brew 30, Kylie Van 30, Grant 25, Kylie Ham, Grace 30, Kylie Ham 40, Grace 34, Wyatt 20. Out of this group of people, there are only going to be 3 people who are going to pay for this hoodie. That's Grace, that's Kylie Ham, and that's David. Why? Because they hold the person, again, let's look over here. If the person holds a value for an item that is greater than or equal to its price, so this is Grace has a value greater than 32. Kylie Ham holds the value of a hoodie greater than 32. Same thing with David. They are willing to pay for it. Now you guys might be like, so you're telling me Kylie Van and Brew will not pay an extra $2? In theory, no. That's their price that they are not willing to pay over, so therefore they will not make the sale. That's the idea behind prices. And so as you move on, we're going to talk about the function of prices here. And the function of prices, one is to transmit information. What information would a price tag transmit? Well, it could be it could have to do with what goes into the product, what is being created from the product. So generally, you say that if the price tag is higher, then you would say that the price tag itself is a little bit more expensive, and you know that it's probably going to be there's a lot more stuff in that price tag. There's a lot more information. Maybe there was more people hours or man hours that actually went into creating this product, whatever it could be. But one of the function of prices is to just transmit information to tell you what is going on into the product. So when you see a $1 McChicken at McDonald's, you probably know that it's not super high-end chicken and it's pretty cheaply made. But a chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A has a little higher quality, which means it has a little bit higher price. And so the information it's transmitting is what is the value of that product. And then the other part of a price is to redistribute the income, to have the income go to different locations. Prices, they go to stores, they go to the truck drivers, they go to the manufacturers, they go to the salespeople. And that is another thing that the prices kind of act as, is they redistribute the income to different people all over the place. We'll stop here at Roman numeral 2, demand, and hopefully those charts are working. If they aren't, it's not a big deal. The big thing you need to take from this is the idea behind margin of utility is as follows. You get less satisfied the more you obtain something during a specific period of time. That is the biggest thing, more than the charts itself. Just know that the more you have in one setting, the less satisfied you become.